In the very heart of a beautiful forest, where the air smelled ever so fresh like a morning rain and pine, lived two trees, different as could be. There was Oliver the oak, ever so tall, wide, and proud, with a trunk so thick, well, it would take 5 squirrels holding paws just to wrap around it. His branches stretched out like great arms, and his leaves rustled with confidence in every breeze. Next to him, in a patch of soft moss, stood Benny the bamboo, thin, green, and graceful. He was much shorter, and his long stalk swayed even in the lightest breeze. Oliver, you see, he valued strength, the sort you could see and touch. He took such pride in his thick bark, deep roots, and standing oh so tall without bending, not even a smidge. To him, that was what being strong truly meant.
See how tall I stand. My roots dig deep into the earth. My bark is thick as stone. Nothing can knock me down,
said Oliver proudly. Benny, ever so gentle, would nod and smile.
You are strong, Oliver, but sometimes strength also means knowing when to bend,
said Benny softly. Oliver, he would chuckle at this, shaking his leaves like laughter, wouldn't he?
Bend?
Oliver teased Benny with a shake of his leaves.
Trees don't bend, they stand. That's what being strong is all about.
The forest animals loved listening to Oliver and Benny. The tall oak's voice rumbled like thunder, while Benny's voice was soft and smooth like the wind through grass. Nearby, the little sparrow fluttered her wings.
Oliver's the strongest tree in the forest,
she chirped excitedly.
Benny's nice, but he always looks like he's about to fall over,
added the rabbit. Benny swayed in the breeze, his voice as calm as ever.
Dancing is better than falling,
he said with a peaceful smile. He understood something important, something the others hadn't learned yet. One afternoon, a strange silence filled the forest. The birds flew low, the frogs stopped croaking, and even the ants hurried to their tunnels. The wind, which had been gentle and playful, turned cold and fast. Something was coming. It was a storm, a powerful one. The wind rushed into the forest like a wild dancer, leaping and howling through the trees. Wind was laughing.
Hello, forest. Let's play.
Branches swayed. Leaves flew. Flowers shivered. The trees braced themselves. Oliver stiffened, preparing for the storm.
I will not move. I am strong. I will stand tall,
Oliver said firmly. Benny added softly.
I hope you will be safe, my friend.
The wind howled louder, slamming into the trees. Benny bent with every blast, folding almost to the ground, but never snapping. His stalks moved like dancers, flowing with the storm, instead of fighting it. But Oliver stood stiff as stone, his giant arms shaking with the force. Wind was spinning around Oliver, and it was almost like...
Just bend a little. Don't be so serious.
Oliver, growling, I will not fall. Then came a loud, terrible crack. A huge branch broke right off of Oliver's side and tumbled to the earth with a resounding thud, one that shook the roots of every tree nearby. Soon enough, the storm began to pass. The clouds rolled away, and raindrops sparkled on the leaves like tiny diamonds. And the wind, now playful once again, skipped off across the hills. Wind whispered softly,
Goodbye, forest. Until next time.
As the morning light crept in, the forest creatures, they peeked out, ever so curious, and gathered round Oliver. His trunk, you see, was all scarred, and one of his great, strong limbs lay broken right beside him. Oh, and his lovely leaves were scattered all over the clearing. And then, there stood Benny, still whole, still rooted firm, still swaying ever so gently in the breeze.
I'm sorry, Oliver. That was a hard storm,
said Benny with a voice full of empathy and kindness. Oliver was defeated. He added,
You didn't fall.
No, I bent. I always do. It's how I survive,
replied Benny softly. Oliver looked down, his bark scratched and worn.
I thought bending was weakness. I thought if I stayed strong and still, I could never be hurt,
said Oliver.
Sometimes, strength is knowing when to move, when to change, when to let the storm pass through you instead of standing against it,
Benny replied.
I stood so firm, and I broke. But you flowed with the wind, and you're still here.
Oliver came to the realization. That day, something shifted in the forest, it did. The animals, they whispered amongst themselves, watching Benny not with amusement, no, but with admiration.
He didn't fall. Not him. He moved,
said the rabbit to the sparrow.
Maybe that's the real kind of strong, you know.
Then said the turtle. As the weeks turned into months, Oliver began to heal. New leaves grew in, his bark mended, and Benny was always nearby, swaying beside him, enjoying Oliver's shade and the stories of the wind. They became closer than ever, two different trees, one deep in the earth, the other dancing with the air. And so, dear children, remember this. You don't have to be the biggest, or the tallest, or the strongest. Sometimes, being flexible, being patient, and trusting the wind to pass, that's what helps you stand the longest. Like Benny the bamboo, you can bend and bounce back. And like Oliver the oak, you can learn and grow, even after you fall. True strength isn't about standing still. It's about learning when to move. And in every storm, there's a lesson waiting on the other side.
In a forest full of whispers, where the tall trees grow and sway, lived an oak who stood so mighty, and a bamboo light as day. One stood firm and never wavered, one would bend and rise again. Both were strong but oh so different, like the sun and gentle rain. You can stand, you can sway, find your strength in your own way. Brave like stone or soft like air, every heart has strength to share. You don't have to look the same, you're strong in your own way. You can stand, you can sway, find your strength in your own way. Brave like stone or soft like air, every heart has strength to share. You don't have to look the same, you're strong in your own way. Skies turned dark with thunder, and the winds began to roar. Branches broke and leaves went flying, scattered all across the floor. But the bamboo kept on dancing, while the oak let out a sigh. Both still standing through the silence, looking gently to the sky. You can stand, you can sway, find your strength in your own way. Brave like stone or soft like air, every heart has strength to share. You don't have to look the same, you're strong in your own way. So when life gets loud and stormy, and you don't know what to do, take a breath and just remember, there's a little strength in you. You can stand, you can sway, grow a little every day. Roots run deep and hearts can bend, that's how healing learns to mend. Kindness shines through cloudy gray,